The moment I stepped inside that crowded dining room, a cold realization settled deep in my chest. I watched unfamiliar patrons raise their glasses beneath the glowing light fixtures that my own savings had paid for. The rustic wooden tables and handwritten menus were exactly what my child had excitedly sketched out on a napkin at my kitchen table 2 seasons ago. Now, those same walls displayed glowing reviews from local food critics, yet I stood near the entrance unnoticed because nobody here had any idea who I was or what I had sacrificed to build this place. My mind raced back to the evenings we spent planning this venture when my daughter, Valerie, convinced me that this restaurant would secure our family financial future. She possessed so much energy and passion that I completely overlooked the warning signs and dipped into my hard-earned retirement funds to hand her $80,000. My sister Brenda warned me that mixing family with business always ended in disaster, but I chose to believe my own blood would never betray my trust. I thought I was investing in a legacy, but I was actually funding my own exclusion from her new life. The initial months of operation were incredibly demanding, and I spent my weekends cleaning floors, organizing inventory, and managing the accounting while Valerie focused on marketing. She constantly assured me that our partnership would be legally finalized as soon as the initial chaotic phase settled down and the business turned a profit. I trusted her completely because she was my flesh and blood, so I kept working without a formal contract while she handled the official registration. That foolish blind trust turned out to be the biggest mistake of my entire life, and it haunts me every single day. As the months passed, the restaurant began trending on social media, and the tables were booked weeks in advance. That was precisely when Valerie started changing her behavior toward me, suddenly acting distant and ignoring my messages about our financial agreements. When I showed up to help during a busy weekend rush, she quietly pulled me into the back office and told me my presence was making the new staff uncomfortable. She explained that the business was evolving beyond my old-fashioned methods, and her cold tone made me feel like an unwelcome stranger in my own project. The true breaking point arrived when I received a formal letter in the mail from a local legal firm representing her corporation. The document coldly stated that my initial financial contribution was being classified as a personal gift rather than a business investment, meaning I possessed zero equity. My heart shattered into a million pieces as I read those sterile words, realizing my own child had methodically scrubbed my name from the business. I sat alone in my quiet living room for hours, staring at the paperwork while trying to comprehend how someone I raised could be so incredibly cruel. I decided to confront her directly at the restaurant during closing time, demanding an explanation for the legal papers she had sent to my home. Valerie did not even look up from her laptop, calmly stating that she needed to protect her business interests from outside interference. She told me that $80,000 was a small price to pay for a parent's unconditional love, and she refused to let guilt ruin her success. Hearing her weaponize my love for her made me realize that the sweet girl I raised was completely gone, replaced by a ruthless stranger. The emotional weight of her betrayal took a massive toll on my health, causing sleepless nights and endless anxiety as I struggled to accept reality. My sister Brenda urged me to hire an aggressive lawyer and fight for my retirement money, but the thought of a public courtroom battle with my daughter made me feel sick. I spent weeks weighing my options, torn between the desperate need for financial survival and the lingering desire to protect what remained of our broken family. Eventually, I realized that some losses cannot be recovered through legal warfare, and I needed to find a different path forward. I ultimately decided to walk away without filing a lawsuit, choosing my own mental peace over a prolonged and toxic court battle. I stopped visiting her neighborhood, blocked her number, and began the painful process of rebuilding my life and retirement savings from scratch. It was the hardest decision I ever made, but it allowed me to stop drowning in bitterness and start focusing on my own healing. Valerie got the restaurant she always wanted, but she completely traded her father's devotion for a successful business, and that is a terrible bargain. Standing there in the bustling lobby tonight, I finally felt a strange sense of closure wash over me as I watched her manage the room. I realized that my investment did not fail, because it brought me the painful but necessary truth about who my daughter truly had become. The beautiful restaurant will eventually fade or change hands, but the lesson I learned about boundaries and self-worth will stay with me forever. I quietly turned around and walked out into the cool night air, leaving her expensive dream behind and finally stepping into my own peaceful future.